Hi, friends. Welcome to episode 2 of our root cause mini-series. You're not ill, your well is just empty. How dehydration causes disease and symptoms are just disguised thirst signals. So if you think of hydration as just an afterthought, keep watching. Today, we're looking at the water pain pathway. What if the real cause of your back pain, joint pain, or headaches is that your body of water is running low on water? According to Dr. Freydum Batman-Gallage, pain is a direct signal of thirst. Here are some of the ways that it can work. Bear in mind that this is short form content and I'm not going to be able to cover all of the ways today, but this will give you an idea of how your body of water is actually signaling thirst to you. Because when you don't have enough water in your body, your system has to ration what limited water it has left. The brain and the vital organs get first priority, but that means that your joints, your muscles, your connective tissues are inevitably left with less. For example, the synovial fluid, which is mostly water, starts to dry up. And this fluid is actually what keeps your cartilage smooth and what keeps your joints moving without friction. When that thickens and decreases as a result of dehydration, then the cartilage can start to crack and nerves become exposed to more friction, more acid buildup. And that's when you start to feel pain in your joints. But it actually goes further than that because when you're dehydrated, your body releases system-wide chemicals like histamines, prostaglandins, and kinins. And these chemicals are intended to help your body to conserve water. Your body is trying to help you, but they also trigger inflammation and make your nerves more sensitive to pain. This is why dehydration can lead to headaches, migraines, back pain, and even widespread chronic pain. Not to mention how much pain actually stems from lymphatic or fascial dehydration. So your fascia is a continuous hydrated matrix of ideally around 80% water and 20% protein that conducts force and information and water hydration to each and every one of your cells like this beautiful irrigation network all through the body. And when that matrix starts to dry out in certain places, it loses that glide. The collagen fibers start to bind together like Velcro instead of slipping over each other like silk, and layers that should slide, instead they start to tug and twist and compress, and they can actually compress your nerves and your capillaries, causing pain and restricting, oxygenating, and nourishing blood flow to those areas. This can create ischemia, inflammation, hypoxia, and distorted signaling from your cells to the brain about what's actually happening in that area of your body. You could feel it as stiffness, aching, you can even feel it as sharp pain or just a chronic tension in that area, because dehydrated fascia can't distribute the load or distribute water efficiently through your body. So stress, whether it's physical stress or even mental and emotional stress, can start to concentrate in these pockets called adhesions, these dehydrated little pockets of your fascia. And they hurt because the cells there are thirsty. They're hypoxic. They're electrically starved. They're cut off from fascia's ability to irrigate them. And remember, water is the conductor of electricity and charge in your body. If you want cellular voltage in your cells have to be able to receive the water that they need to get that. So what your body's trying to tell you here is that this region is in a state of drought. Just like a desert gets hotter when there's less rainfall, your body will have the same effect of inflammation. It's going to get hotter when it's not being well irrigated. And with your lymphatic system, it's a similar story. It's actually the biggest waterway in your body. You actually have 3 times more lymph in your body, more lymphatic fluid, than you have blood. So it's one of the most important, if not the most important, and yet most overlooked waterway, because typically when you think about your body water, you think of your blood, right? But there's so much more lymph, and lymph has no pump. It moves only through hydration, breath, movement, through lymphatic massage, light touch, kind of thing. When you're well hydrated, your lymph flows like this beautiful, clean river that washes away your metabolic waste, your inflammatory byproducts, your acidification, your cellular debris. It washes all that out of the tissues. It's like this beautiful internal shower that's always happening for all of your cells. But when you're dehydrated, then that lymph starts to thicken and it stagnates, and all of your internal waste pulls up like stagnant sewage in your body. Most people are actually stewing in their own internal sewage all the time because they're not well hydrated. Then acids start to accumulate and your immune signals start to stay trapped in that place, not be able to be delivered throughout the body. The tissues are marinating in their own exhaust. It leads to swelling, to tenderness, to pain, to acidification, to inflammation. So with dehydration, with chronic localized drought in the body, your fascia becomes sticky, your lymph gets sluggish, inflammation becomes chronic, and what we label as pain is usually nothing more than these expressions of localized chronic long-term drought in these areas. But it's the kind of drought that requires you to actually take care of those waterways in the body through lifestyle practices, not just through chugging more water. Although even just drinking more water alone can start the process. Studies do show that simply increasing your water intake, especially with the right kind of water that your cells can actually absorb, can reduce or even eliminate certain types of pain. But it's not the standalone solution. You have to learn how to hydrate from the inside out. So, long story short, I hope you're starting to see that pain is not just a random symptom, and it's really more like your body's built in warning system. It's thirst in that area. If you get thirst in your mouth, it's dry mouth. If you get thirst somewhere else, it's dry fascia or dry lymphatic fluid or dry synovial fluid. It's your body telling you that it needs more water to function properly. So the next time you feel that familiar ache, whatever that might be for you, don't just reach for a painkiller. Start to ask yourself, is it possible that that area of my body is dehydrated? And how can I ensure that I'm actually hydrating that area specifically, not just irrigating my gut and digestive tract, not just flooding my body with liquid that I'm going to pee out in 20 minutes, but that I'm taking care of that area of the body on an intracellular level. So you can see hydration really can't just be an afterthought. In a body that's 70% water by volume and 99.9% water molecularly, caring for your waters is the origin of health. As Dr. Carly Nude said, when we realize that aging and disease are byproducts or symptoms of the loss of structure in our intracellular fluids, then we arrive at a more effective approach to treatment based on the actual mechanics of our biology. Research in the field of structured liquid crystalline water can, should, and eventually will revolutionize and transform healthcare and medicine, aging and life expectancy, disease treatment and prevention, including that of mental illness and genetic defects. And as Dr. Batman-Gallage said, it is unintentional chronic dehydration that causes pain and disease, including cancer in the body. As Dr. Masaru Emoto said, it is chronic water shortage in the body that causes most diseases of the human body. As Dr. Zach Bush said, if we could stay perfectly hydrated in the intracellular environment, our aging would slow down, if not completely reverse. Dr. Alexis Carroll said that if we renew the fluid surrounding the cell at regular intervals, in other words, stay hydrated, then the pulse of life could go on forever. Dr. Ishihari Yumi said that aging is just a gradual process of drying out. Dr. Dana Cohen said learning how to hydrate is the first step in treating and preventing chronic disease. And I could give you countless examples like these from medical doctors who see it in action every day. And it's time that we start listening to these doctors who are devoting their lives to this research. It's time for the truth to come out. And the truth is, my friends, that water is life, and therefore hydration is health. To be well, fill your well with good water. And I'm here to show you how. If you want to know how to revive your drinking water, comment NW course. If you want to learn to fully hydrate your body water, comment IO course. I think they would have to be separate comments for the links to get sent to you. But then drop a comment and let me know which health and hydration pathway you would like for me to explore in the next video. And until that episode, be well and be water, my friend.